morning and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I'm pumped. I'm excited I get to host today. And for those that don't know me, my name is Joanne and I am the director of marketing and live training here with Legendary Marketer. And as Dave says, we got another amazing guest, but we really do. He's in a unique niche that I find fascinating, connected to. I love it. We're going to hear all about what he's doing, how he got started, and he's a little bit more at the beginning of his journey as well, which is, I think, really cool and relatable for all of you. But before I bring him on, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you want one of Dave's hats, t-shirts, all of that good stuff, head over to belegendary.shop. You can get all the legendary swag your heart desires, from towels to phone cases. It's there. Go check it out, belegendary.shop. If you are someone that is from our community, but we just haven't found you, reached out to you, you're building a business, you've taken our education, and you would like to be featured on Wake Up Legendary, head over to legendarymarketer.com/featured. Fill out the form, and we'll see if you are a fit for the show. And of course, if you haven't checked it out, go grab our new 5-day challenge. The Learn, Launch, Lead challenge is live. It's phenomenal. Those that are going through it are absolutely blown away. Those that have gone through our old challenge and now this one, and the old challenge was good. Like, it was good, but this one blows it out of the water. It has a totally different focus. Go check it out, learnlaunchleadchallenge.com. All right, without further ado, welcome to the show, Matthew. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you are all about soccer. That's the niche,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah, that's nice.
your audience is people that love soccer, that are training, learning, wanting to grab skills, get better at it. And
Mhm.
where are you? You're in Portugal, is that correct at this moment?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Because I'm also, I'm trying to make it as a pro myself in soccer, and so I'm kind of documenting my journey. That's what I've been doing recently.
Oh, I love that. So you're bringing along people that are have a love of soccer, following your journey as you are chasing your own dreams, your own passions, your own goals. And along the way, you're adding in some teaching, you're
Yeah,
adding in some moments they can relate to as fellow players in the sport, and you're making recommendations along the way for, I believe right now you're recommending an app, correct?
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
correct.
And what I love about this is you're taking all the skills, and this is what it's about, is when you learn the skills, you can apply it to anything.
Hmm.
Apply it to anything. And here you are, you're just under 1,000 followers on your Instagram. You have a TikTok, you have a YouTube, and you're building this awesome side gig while going after your dreams, your passions, and all the things. And you're 18, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is awesome. So, share with us how you even found us and started thinking about options outside of the box. Like, how do I, chase my dream and not be, stuck in a 9 to 5 or whatnot? Share with us that story and that process you went through.
Okay, sure. So, um, like essentially, I just found you guys scrolling on Instagram. Really, I found a couple of fellow affiliate marketers, and then I clicked their link, and then I saw the challenge, and I'm like, huh, this is a good idea, because I'll be honest, like in the soccer industry, you kind of need money to get through. Like sometimes you need to pay people to get your way in. And what I was thinking was, it's like, if I can make this work, then it can give me a sustainable income, not only to help me get into my industry, but
Mhm.
if it doesn't work, I'm then set up for a good financial future afterward.
Right, because you already have something going, you're building a following, you have engaged followers, and making those recommendations, and then the sky's the limit. You can take it anywhere. You can continue to
Yeah.
grow this, you can add another niche, you can add other pages, you can add online training, you can build a soccer course online with drills for
Hmm.
beginners. I mean, really, my mind goes, oh, we got options forever.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
what I have found, because I have a little bit of that coaching background as far as sports and whatnot. And my husband and our family we're a big sports family, is the love of coaching, the love of teaching. It doesn't matter what it is. It can go into any area in any way, in any niche. And pretty soon you may find yourself like, you know what, I can teach this virtually, or I can fall in love with something else as I get older and start teaching that as well as I get good at it. What comes up for you as you're in this beginning stage and when you're thinking about the future of what you want to do with your business?
Um, well, it's essentially, I'm trying new things, right? You
Mhm.
gotta you gotta experiment because sometimes the algorithms don't really like what you're doing, so you have to
Mhm.
change it up. And I'm still experimenting with what works. And the idea is eventually I grow big enough where I start making significant sales,
Mhm.
and then I grow from there.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think's been your biggest like roadblock as you got started?
Oh, I mean, maybe it was maybe it was the type of content that I was doing wasn't really getting views. And when I see that the views aren't high, it kind of demotivates me a little bit.
Okay.
And and it, like, to get through that, it's like you have to either change it up, and you can't be so focused on views. That's what I kind of learned, especially from the beginning.
Mhm.
Because if you're focused on your views, you're gonna start making content to only get views. And when you do that, it's less authentic. And when it's less authentic, it benefits you less, and less people will be interested. That's what I kind of learned, and like how I got through that is just stop caring about the views, really.
Yeah, and it's such a hard thing to let go though.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like that personal social proof, like, okay, I'm doing something, but yet someone can go viral, makes a video that's just for the masses, but none of those people are actually into you and what you're offering, so they don't buy anything.
Hmm.
But you could have a few hundred views of people that are super connected to what you're saying, what your messaging is, relate to it, and then you do get clicks and buys, and so you actually make
Hmm.
more money for your business possibly from
Yeah.
lower view video than something that went viral to people that are like, oh, it's funny, but I don't really care what he's doing beyond that. And
Hmm.
that's a hard thing to overcome, and I don't think anyone truly overcomes it. I think
Yeah.
always a work in progress. Like, how do you keep reminding yourself, like, okay, I got to keep going, keep going?
Um. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the best thing is I just kind of don't look at them, like,
Mhm.
for the first little bit, and then you know force myself into it when I have to upload the next video. But
Right.
like, I think it's just you have to not let it bother you. It's essentially everything in life really is based on what you let bother you and what you don't let bother you. And if you don't let it bother you, then you become more motivated to make even better content to act, and then the views will start naturally getting higher.
Right. Right. Do you see a connection to your commitment as an athlete of what you have
Uh,
to push through
mhm.
there to also then push through as a business owner?
Well, I mean, I think in the beginning I didn't really make the connection. I think more recently I started to actually properly start making that connection in the videos. So yeah, I think I do see the connection between me as an athlete and my struggles as an athlete in relation to content creation and starting up a business.
Yeah. I mean, I saw in your forum you boasted about how you've been consistent. You've posted every day, I believe, for 6 months.
Yeah,
Could you imagine as an athlete in your sport going, you know what, I'm not going to practice for the next week and then
yeah.
practice for a day and then I'm not going to practice again for 2 weeks and then practice for a day. And do you think you'd get better?
No, and I know players like that too, that kind of are like that. I've had that experience. I've seen people skip practices. It's like those are the people that aren't gonna make it. They're there just for fun, and that's fine too. But like I'm on a different path and I have a different idea, so I have to be consistent the whole way through to get there.
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of, if you've been in sports, you've been in anything that requires consistency,
Hmm.
commitment, pushing through failure, pushing through learning and still needing to perform.
Yeah,
It really is the same when it comes to starting your business.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's all the same qualities. And I think athletes especially get that piece and
Hmm.
understand and have already kind of learned how to push through failure. You're going to have practices that suck. You're going to
Hmm.
have games you don't win. That doesn't mean you're just going to quit if you lost the game, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to get back on the field. You're going to figure it out and keep
Hmm.
going because it's just one game in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things. A few hours on a certain day, and what am I going to do next? And could you imagine if we all just quit because we didn't get enough views on a video?
Yeah. And that's why I think I adjusted well because being an athlete and being in the soccer scene, I've already experienced successes and failures alike.
Hmm.
So it made it a little bit easier because I already know what it's like to be consistent. So to me, it wasn't that difficult to continue to be consistent.
Yeah, like you just grasp, there's a bigger picture that you're going after.
Yeah,
The same,
exactly.
same with your sport. There's a bigger picture. You can't go, all right, today I am a soccer superstar.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pro because I've decided that's what I'm going to do today. And so that's what you are. And the same goes for business. You can't just start an online business and go, today I'm going to have 100,000 followers and have leads and sales coming out the wazoo because I posted one video.
yeah. It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't all happen in one day. It doesn't all happen in 1 week, all 1 month, not even 1 year.
Yeah,
It's a multiple year process to success.
yeah, it really is. And it's kind of funny how sometimes people come in and go, well, since it's online, it I'm going to question it, but I better get success immediately with very little work and effort, or it's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
no,
Yeah.
why are you telling yourself this lie? Why are you setting yourself up to quit before you even started?
Yeah, unfortunately some people have that mentality. It's just something you have to push through. And I know you guys say it a lot in the course, push through it. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's really a battle with yourself
Mm-hmm.
more than
It is.
anything, which is you had a lot of, I know there's also on top of that, outside battles, outside resistance, loved ones, friends, teasing, questioning. Have you experienced any of that yourself?
Um, I mean, for the most part, my friends have actually been pretty supportive of this, but like, you do have teasing and stuff. Like if I make like a bit of a cringe video, they'll call me out on it for sure.
Right.
And my mom knows about it. She'll give me suggestions, some more useful than others. But yeah, that's how it's been.
I love that she's giving suggestions though. Like she's like, I'm on your team instead of like, just end it. Just don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I
Oh
would
yeah.
always welcome suggestions over the ladder of just somebody that's just like, this is dumb, quit. Like
Yeah,
nobody
for sure.
needs the encourager to quit in life,
Hmm.
you know? Which
Yeah, that's very true. And I'm I'm glad that I have these people around me that support me.
Mhm. So what is when it comes to creating content, how do you sit down and plan it all? Do you plan ahead? Do you wake up and go, all right, what am I going to post today and do it right there in the moment? Walk us through kind of your strategy of what you've been doing and are doing now.
Okay. So before I was doing like just skills and quotes, motivational stuff like relating to soccer. And usually I would what I would do is I would make 3 videos in one day, then I would know what to do for the next 3 days, and
Mhm.
then something like that, and then I would pre-plan videos. And but then sometimes I would have to get out there and I don't know what I'm doing, so I have to figure it out. So I go watch some YouTube stuff, scroll for a little bit, see if I could get some ideas,
Mhm.
not scrolling for nothing, scrolling to get ideas.
Yeah,
And
scroll
it's
research.
yeah, exactly. And then and then I post that. But then now with the shift of content that I've done where I'm moving more to my own personal story, it's a lot easier because I just have to talk about really what I'm gonna do or what I did during the day. So like in terms of exercising and learning and whatever else may have happened.
So I love that because we usually don't hear that. It's actually the hardest thing for people to start telling their own story and to share their
Mm,
life.
mm,
Yeah, and I love that you're like, "Oh, this made my content easier." And I
yeah.
actually think once you do it, it is easier because you're not trying to be anybody else. You're
Hmm.
not trying to be somebody else. You're not an actor. You're like, "This is my life. This is my story. Take it or leave it. Here's the highs, the lows, the lefts, the rights, my day, the struggles, the wins, my mindset, and everything in
Hmm.
between." Um, and people have a hard time pushing into that area of content. Like, oh, I can't let people see me and know.
Yeah, well, I think it was a little easier for me because of the niche that I'm in.
Right.
Because as an athlete, it's I think generally it's a lot easier. Whereas that if you're doing, for example, like make money online, especially like you guys just did the faceless content,
Mhm.
all that stuff on the faceless content. So when you're not showing your face, it is a lot harder to be more personal on that type of a level.
Yeah, definitely. That's it's faceless is more pushing it like putting out a brand, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just you. But if you are showing your face, you're using your name. Um, I think it's important to share pieces of your story that
Hmm.
your ideal audience could relate to. It doesn't mean you have to, get out your journal and pour out all of your secrets and life story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Going to be moments that are weaved through your day, through your week, through your month, um, that give insight to who you are and
Hmm.
also connect you further with what your ideal audience is going through as well. And
Yeah.
then I think it's all about finding those moments. Would you agree? What has helped you share your story more? What are things you pull from?
Um, well, I mean, I think, I pull from the fact that I'm giving people inspiration to go on their own journey to improve at
Mhm.
soccer on their own themselves through my story. And then if I make it's even better because then it's essentially just one big, just big document of everything that's happened on a daily basis that can that can really like get people going and get people engaged and just all into what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I don't think people realize, not especially maybe not in the States as much, how huge soccer is worldwide. and how huge the network of semi-pro teams and different levels of
Hmm.
pro, semi-pro, amateur, and things that you can move through. I had a niece that was on a semi-pro team in France for a couple years, and it's hard to work alongside that. They actually they put all of their players in like a daycare center to work certain hours. Like that was their job
Oh.
outside of training, and when she went through that experience. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot more involved when you are making those your goals to go pro, and it's hard. And
Yeah.
it involves moving, it involves being in different countries, it involves being away from family a lot of times. And there's a lot of people that are on that journey with you. And I think it's really admirable that you're sharing that.
Well, I appreciate it, but I mean, to me, it's like I don't think that way. Like I kind of think like, I have a goal, I gotta stick to it. That's
Mhm.
kind of how I think about it. Like it's like I don't have time really to miss my family. Well, I miss them obviously, but I don't like think about it, right? I just go.
Great. And wouldn't you say you need to have kind of the same level of commitment when you're starting and doing anything online with a business, building anything? It's just got to be, there's some level of blinders that have to be on. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm ignoring the noise. I'm not going to
Yeah.
let anyone get distracted.
Yeah, you have to, it's the same thing. You have to get up every day and work towards your goals. So your goal is starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur, getting sales, making money. You have to be willing to put in that extra work every single day, and that involves maybe shifting other things to the side to make it work. Make some time for yourself, because I know time management
Mhm.
sometimes is a bit hard even for me. You have to be able to sacrifice that time in the now so that in the future you're more set up financially.
I love your commitment to goals. And it's, I love that you're 18 and committed to goals, which is huge. And you see, it's about what's my vision for 10 years from now, and I can
Hmm.
feel that when I talk to you, and I think most people out there, they can't have a vision longer than a month from now, and I
Hmm.
really want to invite everyone to sit down and what's your vision for 6 months from now? What's your vision for a year from now? What's your vision for 5 years from now? For 10 years from now? And then what's
Yeah.
one action you can take today that's moving you towards that?
Yeah, it's exactly that, because it's also down to the soccer as well. Because in soccer, it's like, again, it's not that simple. It's not that easy, right? So I have to be thinking, okay, if this summer I don't have opportunities, what do I do to get to next summer and find different opportunities? Then I'm 19. So then I go, okay, so what age do like I stop if it doesn't work out? 22, 23? Like I don't know. That's why I have to think that far to make these
Right,
decisions when the time comes.
right. We had a recent guest on last week, and she shared, I gave myself a full year. I was going to commit and stay focused to the education I was learning and applying it every day for a full year. I wasn't going to get distracted by anything else. And that's when she started seeing the needle move, her business grow, her following grow, her email list grow, her sales grow, all of it, when she went all in with that commitment of her mindset of this is it. I'm not going to let anything distract me. And she allowed herself enough time to see it through and
Yeah.
just go, I'm giving it 2 weeks. Um,
Yeah.
I've heard that in our community. I've seen it in the comments of Wake Up Legendary. I'm giving it 2 weeks. And if I'm not, well, money falling from the sky,
Yeah.
um, I'm out. I'm quitting. And it really comes down to quitting can't be on the table.
Hmm.
It just can't be an option. And I would assume even in soccer as an athlete, quitting can't be on the table if you want to keep moving forward. What comes up for you when you hear that?
What when like quitting can't be on the table.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's completely true, right? A lot of people are like, oh, you have to have a plan B. You have to do other things. But I can't think like that. I have to think, okay, I'm gonna make it, whether it's in a year, 2 years, 5 years, or longer even. I'm gonna make it. It's the same thing with starting a business, right? Right
Mhm.
now I'm still small, but I believe if I continue growing and continue improving, I will get there eventually, however long it takes.
Yeah. And man, I hope everyone's really grasping his level of commitment to what Matthew's looking for. And that's really what we all need. We all need this level of I'm all in and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep going. And there's going to be days where I feel like crap. There's going to be days where something doesn't go right. But that's with anything.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I'm sure you see that with soccer and sports, just like you do in your business. It just like someone would at their job or in school. There's always things that just aren't perfect. There's nothing that's perfect. So we got to learn how to just keep going. Remember our bigger
yeah,
vision, that 1 year, 5 year, 10 year vision we have for our life and for ourselves, and use that to fuel us in that action for the moment, for sure.
yeah, yeah. And that's how success is made, right? Through not quitting during the bad days. The bad days are the biggest tests. It's not necessarily about motivation. It's about having the discipline when things are going wrong to continue doing the same thing and continue working and not giving up.
So when you have a bad day, Matthew, and that thought starts to trickle into your brain, should I just be done? What do you personally do to persevere and push through? What helps you?
Um, well, I essentially think like why would I quit now? Because I've gone so far. I've already moved countries. I've already spent so much money. I'm already
Mhm,
living on my own, paying for rent by myself. I've
mhm,
already done all of this stuff, and then to me, quitting now just wouldn't be worth it, right? So
yeah,
whenever I'm having a bad day, a bad moment, I'm like, okay, I've made it this far, so I can't stop now. I have to keep going.
mhm. I can make it again. I can keep.
Yeah.
There's more wins ahead of me,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right? If you just keep going. It's just the same when I see someone and I hear them say, "Oh, I got my first commission," but then I haven't in 2 weeks, so it's done. No, if you did it once, you can do it again, and if you've
Hmm.
done it twice, you can do it 4 times. If you've done it 4 times, you can do it 10 times. If you've done it 10 times, you can do it 20. You just have to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same thing with me where it's like I haven't made any sales and I haven't made the commissions yet. But especially I think within the next couple months, I think I'm set up to actually start growing further in that regard, money.
Yeah, and it's about what you're doing as far as building connections with your audience. You're teaching them, and now it's going to be adding in more call to actions of how you can help them, right? You've made a switch in your content, you've made a switch in your messaging already, and you're seeing a change there. So now it's about adding in those other moments of how you can further help them.
Hmm.
And remembering to grow your email list and nurture them through your emails and adding all those little pieces along the way because there is no perfect launch, there is no perfect start. But as you keep going, you keep building, and that's what it's all about, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and my launch, my start was far from perfect because I was doing completely different things. It took me at least a couple months to figure out, hey, I should probably tie this into soccer because that's my number one passion. It's
Right.
like you live and you learn, you know?
Yeah, that's right. You started and it wasn't even soccer
Yeah.
that you were going after. It was a different niche. And I think that's important for everyone to see as well and to remember. And it comes down to what do you want to make content about every day? If you're
Hmm.
going the organic route and you're not doing paid ads, because that's a different beast and that's a different
Yeah.
focus. and you're going to be a personal brand that's going to use your name, your face, you got to enjoy what you're putting out.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to be like, oh, I can make a video for this audience every day and be excited to do it for the most part.
Yeah, and it shouldn't, like, it shouldn't matter what your audience thinks. Obviously that helps, but if you're confident, so I always feel great when I look at my video and I'm like, this is a good video. Even if it didn't get the views I want, I'm like, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna continue on this type of a style, and in the future, it should bear the fruits.
Yeah. I love that. Being pride, having some pride in what you're doing. And there's gonna be days where you're like, man, you look back and go, wow, I thought that video was good. And now it don't. But that's
Yeah,
all
for
a
sure.
sign of your growth
Hmm.
with the process too, which is cool. But if you're excited about what you're putting out in that moment on that day, it's going to take you far overall if you stay consistent with that process. And I think that's really the message here, guys, is that it takes time, but it takes consistency, it takes determination, um, and a longer, bigger vision for yourself to really
Hmm.
get this rolling. And I love your confidence. I love what you're sharing with everyone here today. I think there's a lot that people can learn from what you've shared today, which is huge. And really showing what a growth mindset looks like.
Well, yeah, thanks. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter how old you are, right? I'm 18, I'm on the younger side. Like, you could be in your mid 50s, mid 60s,
Mhm.
but if you have that same mentality, it will work out for you.
Yep. And you're right. It doesn't matter what age. You can be 70, which I'm sure somebody is right now that's watching this.
Yeah.
You can be 18, you can be in your 20s, you can be a new mom, you can be a retired dad, but it all comes down to your commitment for change, your commitment to a bigger vision, and sticking with it and remembering you're worthy of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is huge. And I want to thank you for reminding all of us today of that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, being that example to all of us of what this looks like to be committed. And whether it's in soccer, going after a goal there, in any sport, in a job, and in your business, it all relates. You've got to be committed to a bigger vision for yourself.
Yeah, and that's how success is made in life in general. No matter what you're doing, if you're committed and if you show that consistency, eventually it will work out.
Yeah, totally, which is huge. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I definitely want an update. You need to come back on and meet Dave. I know he'd love to sit down and chat with you. And I want updates. Email me, Joanne at legendarymarketer.com, and let me know how things are going. I want to know when sales happen. I want to know how your growth is going, and we'll have you back on the show. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today, Matthew.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, our pleasure. All right, everyone, please go follow Matthew on YouTube at improvement_athletics. And it's also the same on Instagram and TikTok at improvement_athletics. Go give him a follow. Let him know you saw him on Wake Up Legendary. And it's really cool to see how he's creating content, going through everything he's learned here, but from going through the challenge and applying it to a niche that he's passionate about, that he's excited about, and seeing the consistency that he's exemplifying for all of us on a daily basis. Sometimes the best ideas when we're looking for content come from creators in other niches. It's the best way to find a way for you to connect with a piece of content, model it, and be creative yourself. So go check out his stuff. I love what he's doing. Go give him a follow and all of that good stuff. And once again, at improvement_athletics. We are back tomorrow with another guest, another episode. And as always, stay legendary. Peace.